Hello everybody and welcome to day 27 of Getting the Lead Out, where I've had a lazy day. Only 4 minis, and I mean, 2 of these, the Demibird Cavalry and the Scorpion Man, they were almost finished yesterday. And as for these 2, this Baboon and this Morakanth, as it's known, sort of tapir man, these were the low-hanging fruits. These were the simplest ones to paint up out of the batch I had prepped, because they're just fur. I mean, this is the simplest thing in the world to paint. I had to take a lazy day because I felt myself coming dangerously close to burnout, because I've been pushing so hard for this project to be completed. But I can read the signals my own body sends, and I was not feeling it. And so I needed to ease off on the pedal for a little bit. We'll see how long I have to keep that pressure off. But you know, I'm going to paint something every day, but perhaps not stress so much over it. Because I realize by now this project is not going to be done in 31 days. That's not realistic. I mean, 31 days, that would be Friday, would be the last day, and that's not going to happen. It's probably going to spill over the weekend into next week. A little bit, at least. You gotta set realistic expectations. Anyway, let's look at the work in progress. So here you can sort of see the rest of what I've been up to. I've put a little bit of paint on all of these. They're like just started, base coating some portions of them. Yeah. I've not been completely lazy, but just slightly lazy. Question for day 27 is great moments in wargaming, but then it goes on to specify, well, to widen the sort of net and say it can be wargaming, role-playing, or even a video game. Tell us a great story in gaming. The best story I have right now is of the Call of Cthulhu campaign I'm running for my regular group of players right now, which is the Horror on the Orient Express. They're on this part right now, book 4, which, if you know anything about the campaign, you know that it's winding up towards the finale. And the thing is, my players tend to be a little bit of power gamers. They build their characters so as to maximize their utility, specifically combat utility. So in Call of Cthulhu, that means always having high skills in firearms, as well as in dodge, and in spot hidden and listen, and library use, because those are crucial skills for everyone to have. And in the new edition, they all try to maximize dex, because initiative is always in dexterity order. I'm trying to think of a good way to randomize it a bit more, but anyway, the thing is, in this campaign, the way it's written is that challenge and danger ramps up very gradually over a very long campaign. And during the early portions of the campaign, nothing really challenged my player characters, because they were built to be combat monsters, and as long as they were just fighting ordinary cultists who just had knives or small pistols or whatever, they could just wipe them out. And they were starting to get a bit cocky. But now, towards the end of the campaign, they're meeting some dangerous creatures. They're starting to meet some mythos creatures that are not so easy to take down with gunfire. And specifically one character, the most combat-oriented of them all, finally had a sort of mental breakdown. He had a bout of insanity, as it's called, for the first time in the campaign. He'd lost very small amounts of sanity up until then. Finally, he lost a large chunk in one go and just panicked, and I rolled that he became really paranoid. And luckily for the other player characters, you know, there were cultists and monsters closer to him than they were. Otherwise, he might have turned on his fellow investigators, and that would have been very, very dangerous for them. So, finally, as we're coming up on the last few sessions, I think I've been able to instill a sense of danger in them, and that to me is a good gaming story, where the cocksure players who thought they had everything covered are suddenly coming to realize that, ooh, maybe we won't survive this. Yeah, I like that. That's the whole point of Call of Cthulhu, is to get some fear, strike some fear into your players. Anyway, that's all I had for today. So, see you tomorrow.